Have you ever stopped to think about what it takes to run one of the largest, most complicated organizations on the entire planet? Well, today we're peeling back the curtain on the Indian Railways to see exactly who is in command and how they keep this massive network on track.
I mean, seriously, think about the scale for a second. We're talking millions upon millions of passengers, thousands of trains crisscrossing the country, and a workforce of over 1 million people. Every single day. So how on earth do you manage all of that? Who's really in charge?
For a question that huge, the answer is surprisingly focused. It all boils down to one central command and control group, the Railway Board.
So let's dive right in. If you really want to understand how Indian Railways works, you have to start right here at its absolute nerve center.
Okay, so that's the official by-the-book definition. But what does it actually mean? The key words here are chief administrative and executive. This tells you the board isn't just some advisory group. Nope, it's in charge of both the big picture planning and the day-to-day execution. It's their job to turn government policy into actual practice across the entire network.
The best way to think of the Railway Board is like the cockpit of a jumbo jet. It's the one room where all the critical information comes in, where the strategy is set, and where the most important decisions are made. Every signal, every schedule, every major new project, it's all ultimately steered from right here.
All right, so if the Railway Board is the cockpit, who's the pilot? Who has the ultimate responsibility for the whole operation?
Well, that would be this person, the chairman and CEO. This role is truly the captain of the ship. They're the single highest authority within the entire railway system. The buck stops with them. They set the direction for the whole organization and report directly to the Minister of Railway.
Of course, the CEO can't do it all alone. They've got a core team, a group of top lieutenants, and each one is responsible for a massive, critical part of the railway's operations.
And this is where the command structure connects directly to you, the passenger. Think about it. The member for infrastructure, they're in charge of the tracks you travel on and the stations you use. The member for traction and rolling stock, they're responsible for the actual train itself, the engine pulling you and the carriage you're sitting in. The member for operations and business development makes sure that train is running on time and that the system is growing. And of course, the member for finance manages the money that makes the whole thing possible.
Now, backing up these core members is another really critical layer of leadership, the Director Generals. You can think of them as the specialists who handle the functions that are absolutely essential for keeping this giant machine running safely and smoothly. And just look at this support system. You've got a Director General for Human Resources who's in charge of managing over 1 million employees. Then there's a DG for Health Services looking after their medical needs. You have the DG for the Railway Protection Force handling security, and so incredibly important, the DG for Safety who makes sure all the protocols are in place and being followed. These are not secondary roles, not at all. They are the bedrock of the entire operation.
Okay, so let's put all these pieces together. When you step back and look at the complete picture, you really start to see how this behemoth of an organization is managed from the very top all the way down. So here it is, the command structure in one view. You have the chairman and CEO at the very top, setting the course. Directly beneath are the 4 core members, running the physical railway day in and day out. And supporting all of them are the 4 director generals, making sure the organization is properly staffed, healthy, safe, and secure. It's a really clear hierarchy, and it's designed specifically to manage this immense complexity.
And ultimately, this isn't just some corporate org chart. This is the engine room. This structure is what allows the Indian Railways to connect the nation and move millions upon millions of people, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
But, while this structure has served the railways for a long time, the world is changing, and fast. We're talking high-speed trains, advanced logistics, brand new passenger expectations. So the big question we're left with is this: how does this nerve center, this very command structure, need to evolve to steer the Indian Railways into the future?